And we'll have more details about Hochul's agenda in the next few weeks when she releases her first state budget proposal. In the meantime, mixed reaction from lawmakers on Hochul's State of the State. Reporter Daryl Kemp joins me now with more. Daryl, you were down at the Capitol during the State of the State. You weren't allowed in the chamber because of COVID, but top lawmakers spoke to you right after. What did they say?
That is correct. Well, the Senate Majority Leader, Andrea Stewart-Cousins, had an optimistic tone following the State of the State address, but she did admit that the legislature still needs to work out the details involved with several of Hochul's proposals. One of those issues is ethics reform, and specifically the Joint Commission on Public Ethics.
As you know, Senator Krueger, among others, has had a lot of different variations on changing JCOPE so that it actually is an agency with teeth. It actually is an agency that is accountable to the people. And so I am certainly looking at what the governor is putting forward as well as what we're doing. We've got to make JCOPE make sense.
Assembly Republican leader Will Barclay had a less flattering position on that speech. He said he was disappointed by Hochul's address and saw it as the governor playing it safe.
I really thought it was a low-energy speech. We got huge issues in the state, whether it's economic issues, we have rising crime, and obviously we're trying to face a pandemic. This is a time that New Yorkers are looking for true leadership, and frankly, I didn't hear it from this governor.
When it comes to specific criticisms on the Republican side, a common complaint is that there was no mention of changes to bail reform in the public safety portion of her address. Senator Tom O'Mara is the top Republican on the Senate Finance Committee and is also a member of the Senate Judiciary Committee.
But there was absolutely no detail on what she's proposing. You know, still sounds like a lot of coddling of criminals, even though it's very vague and soft language she's using. We'll see what comes out in her budget address and what those details are.
Governor Hochul also announced that the state would create a tax credit for overtime paid to farm workers. That comes as a reduction of the overtime threshold to 40 hours from the current 60 is under consideration. Senator Michelle Henchy, a Democrat who chairs the Agriculture Committee, said the governor seems to have prioritized supporting food production given rising prices and supply chain issues.
Because what we need to do is really support farmers. If farmers could pay people 40 hours in overtime, they'd be doing that. The problem is we have not invested in them to date. New York State farmers are not the ones who are getting federal subsidies.
However, both Democrats and Republicans seem to be waiting for the details of the governor's budget proposal before drawing conclusions on a number of issues.
All right. Thank you, Daryl. Thank you for being down there on Wednesday. Really appreciate it.